What if I told you one trade in 2005 created a ripple effect that still touches NHL rosters in 2025? This is the story of how two superstars, Dany Heatley and Marian Hossa, were swapped in a blockbuster deal, sparking one of the most complex trade trees in modern NHL history. By the early 2000s, both Heatley and Hossa were among the league's brightest stars. In Atlanta, Dany Heatley was a pure sniper. Drafted second overall in 2000, he burst onto the scene with a 41-goal Calder Trophy rookie season and followed it with a career-high 89 points in 2002 to 2003. His release was lethal, his skating powerful, and his chemistry with Ilya Kovalchuk was electric. But tragedy struck in 2003 when Heatley was involved in a car crash that killed teammate Dan Snyder. Though he returned to the ice, the weight of that incident, combined with Atlanta's struggles, hung heavy over his career. In Ottawa, Marian Hossa was the definition of consistency. Drafted in 1997, he quickly grew into one of the game's premier two-way wingers. Hossa had 4 30-plus goal seasons with the Senators, including 82 points in 2002 to 2003. Known for his speed, defensive awareness, and ability to score in big moments, Hossa was Ottawa's most reliable forward during their rise to contender status. By 2005, both teams faced crossroads, and both players wanted change. On August 23, 2005, the Atlanta Thrashers and Ottawa Senators pulled the trigger on a blockbuster. Ottawa acquired Dany Heatley. Atlanta acquired Marian Hossa and Greg DeVries. The result? Two branches of a trade tree that extended nearly 2 decades. For Atlanta, Hossa's arrival was headline news. But before diving into his time, we'll start with the other piece Ottawa sent south. Greg DeVries played 164 games for Atlanta from 2005 to 2007, posting 10 goals and 59 points with 142 penalty minutes. He was a steady veteran presence on the blue line before signing with Nashville in the summer of 2007. His branch ended there. Now to the big name, Marian Hossa. Hossa was phenomenal in Atlanta. Over 222 games, he scored 108 goals and 248 points, including a monster 43-goal, 100-point season in 2006 to 2007 that carried Atlanta to their first playoff berth. But when the team crashed in 2007 to 2008, Hossa's value peaked as he approached free agency. On February 26, 2008, Atlanta traded Hossa and Pascal Dupuis to Pittsburgh for Colby Armstrong, Eric Christensen, Angelo Esposito, and a 2008 first-round pick. Colby Armstrong. A gritty two-way winger, Armstrong played 179 games for Atlanta from 2008 to 2010, scoring 41 goals and 80 points. He signed with Toronto in free agency in 2010, ending this branch. Angelo Esposito. Once a top prospect, 25th overall in 2007, Esposito never cracked the NHL. In July 2011, now with the Jets organization, he was dealt to Florida for Kendall McArdle. McArdle played 9 NHL games before fading to the minors, ending this branch. 2008 first-round pick, Atlanta used the 29th overall pick to select Dalton Leveille, a speedy center drafted out of the OHL. He never reached the NHL, spending his pro career bouncing around the minors. His branch ended. Eric Christensen played 57 games for Atlanta, posting 7 goals and 23 points. In March 2009, he was traded to Anaheim for prospect Eric Odell. Odell later transitioned with the franchise to Winnipeg, playing 41 NHL games before leaving for Europe in 2015. His branch ended there. Atlanta's return for Hossa never yielded a franchise cornerstone, and Hossa himself only lasted 3 seasons in Atlanta, and only Odell and Esposito made the move to Winnipeg in 2011, closing their side of the tree. In Ottawa, Heatley meshed perfectly with Jason Spezza and Daniel Alfredsson to form the iconic Pizza Line, one of the NHL's deadliest trios. Heatley delivered back-to-back 50-goal seasons and powered Ottawa to their first-ever Stanley Cup final in 2007. But by 2009, Heatley's relationship with Ottawa soured. On September 12, 2009, the Senators traded Heatley and a 2010 fifth-round pick to San Jose for Milan Michalek, Jonathan Chichu, and a 2010 second-round pick. Jonathan Chichu, the former Rocket Richard winner, couldn't regain his scoring touch. He managed just 14 points in 61 games, was demoted to the AHL, and never played in the NHL again. 2010 second-round pick, Kent Simpson, 58th overall. Ottawa flipped this pick to the Islanders at the deadline for rugged defenseman Andy Sutton, who played 18 games and then left in free agency. The true prize of the trade. Michalek played 412 games over 7 seasons, scoring 115 goals and 224 points. In 2016, he became the centerpiece of a blockbuster with Toronto. On February 9, 2016, Michalek was packaged with Jared Cowan, Colin Greening, Tobias Lindberg, and a 2017 second-round pick in exchange for Cody Donahue, Matt Fratton, Casey Bailey, Ryan Rupert, and Dion Phaneuf. Here's how that deal unfolded. Matt Fratton, once a promising defenseman for Toronto, known for his north-south game and defensive reliability. By 2016, his NHL days were behind him. He never played for Ottawa, finishing his career in the AHL in Europe. Ryan Rupert, a gritty depth forward who never cracked the NHL. His career wound down in the ECHL and overseas. Casey Bailey managed 7 games with Ottawa, recording 1 assist before heading to Europe in 2018. Phaneuf was the true prize of the deal. From 2016 to 2018, he played 154 games with 13 goals and 54 points, anchoring Ottawa's blue line during their 2017 playoff run, where they came within 1 goal of the Stanley Cup final. On February 13, 2018, Phaneuf, with Nate Thompson, was traded to Los Angeles for Marian Gaborik and Nick Shore. Nick Shore played just 6 games before being flipped to Calgary for a 2019 7th-round pick. That pick was bundled in a deal with Ryan Dzingel to Columbus for Anthony Duclair, a 2020 second-round pick, and a 2021 second-round pick. Anthony Duclair, a spark plug winger who scored 31 goals and 54 points in 87 games before leaving in free agency in 2020. The 2020 second-round pick traded to Pittsburgh with Jonathan Gruden for Matt Murray. Pittsburgh used the pick to select Joel Blomqvist, 52nd overall 2020, now a top goalie prospect. Murray played 47 games with Ottawa, but injuries derailed his stint. In July 2022, he was dealt to Toronto with a 2023 third-round pick and a 2024 7th-round pick for future considerations. The 2021 second-round pick sent to Arizona for Derek Steffen. Arizona used it to draft Josh Doan, 37th overall 2021, son of franchise legend Shane Doan. Stefan played 20 games before injuries ended his Ottawa tenure. Gaborik played 16 games in 2017-18 before injuries ended his NHL career. On December 27, 2020, Ottawa traded Gaborik with Anders Nilsson to Tampa Bay for Cedric Paquette, Braden Coburn, and a 2022 second-round pick. Cedric Paquette played 9 games before being packaged with Alex Galchenyuk to reacquire Ryan Dzingel. Braden Coburn played 16 games before being traded on April 11, 2021 to the Islanders for a 2022 7th-round pick used on Tyson Dick, 206th overall. Dick is a forward prospect now developing with the University of Wisconsin, a long-term project in Ottawa's system. The 2022 second-round pick, Ottawa used to select Philip Nordberg, 64th overall, a towering Swedish defenseman currently playing in the USHL for Sioux Falls, viewed as a raw but promising shutdown prospect. Donahue never reached the NHL, but in June 2018, he was included in Ottawa's package with Mike Hoffman and a 2018 5th-round pick to San Jose. In return, the Senators acquired Mikkel Bodker, Julius Bergman, and a 2026th round pick. Mikkel Bodker, a speedy winger with solid two-way instincts, Bodker played 91 games for Ottawa from 2018 to 2020, recording 39 points. He returned to Europe after leaving the Senators, ending his branch. With the 2026th round pick, Ottawa selected Philippe Daoust, 158th overall. Daoust is still in the Senators system today, playing for their AHL affiliate in Belleville. In 2024-25, he posted 22 points in 52 games, showing flashes as a skilled playmaker and remains a developmental project. Julius Bergman, a defenseman with puck-moving ability, Bergman never suited up for Ottawa. Instead, in February 2019, he was packaged with Matt Duchene in a deal to Columbus that returned Jonathan Davidson, Vitaly Abramov, a 2019 first-round pick, and a conditional 2020 first-round pick. Jonathan Davidson played 6 NHL games for Ottawa before returning to Sweden in 2021. Vitaly Abramov, a scoring winger who logged 5 NHL games with Ottawa before leaving for the KHL in 2021. The 2019 first-round pick, 19th overall, was used to select Lassi Thomson, a right-shot defenseman. Thomson played 18 NHL games before returning to Sweden in 2024, though Ottawa still owns his rights. The 2020 conditional first-round pick was voided when Duchene did not re-sign with Columbus. From Heatley's exit in 2009, Ottawa's tree extended for over 2 decades. Chichu and Sutton fizzled quickly. Michalek provided 7 strong years before being flipped into Phaneuf, who anchored their 2017 playoff run. The Phaneuf trade splintered into Nick Shore's branch, yielding Duclair, Murray, and Stefan, and Gaborik's branch yielding Dzingel, Dick, and Nordberg. Meanwhile, the Dany branch extended further into Bodker, Daoust, and Lassi Thomson. Even in 2025, the Heatley trade still touches Ottawa's organization through Felipe Daoust, Lassi Thomson, Tyson Dick, and Philip Nordberg, showing how one superstar's departure rippled through multiple eras of Senators hockey. So what came from Ottawa's side? From Heatley's exit in 2009, Ottawa's return stretched out for over 2 decades. A strong 7-year run from Milan Michalek, Dion Phaneuf's tenure, and the 2017 playoff push. Branches that produced Anthony Duclair, Matt Murray, Derek Stefan, Philip Nordberg, Tyson Dick, Philippe Daoust, and Lassi Thomson. Players and prospects still linked to Ottawa in 2025. But let's not forget the impact that sparked all of this. In Ottawa, Dany Heatley delivered back-to-back 50-goal seasons, forming the legendary pizza line with Spezza and Alfredsson, and powering the Sens to their first-ever Stanley Cup final in 2007. His offensive explosion remains one of the greatest stretches in team history. Meanwhile, Atlanta's side fizzled quickly. Marian Hossa was spectacular during his short stay, scoring 108 goals and 248 points in just 222 games, including a 100-point season in 2006-07 that carried the Thrashers to their only playoff berth in franchise history. But the return for Hossa never materialized into long-term success. In the end, Ottawa managed to stretch Heatley's departure into a 2-decade-long ripple of trades and prospects, while Atlanta's branch burned brightly with Hossa before collapsing into missed opportunities. From Heatley's stardom in Ottawa to Hossa's brilliance in Atlanta, this trade shaped 2 franchises in very different ways. Ottawa turned Heatley's departure into a decade-long ripple of trades, picks, and prospects. Atlanta, and later Winnipeg, were left with almost nothing, all from one blockbuster in 2005. So what do you think? Who won the trade? Did Ottawa manage to squeeze enough out of Heatley's trade tree? Or did both teams end up losing in the end? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next Puck Pulse Trade Tree.